Well, first up this afternoon, the minority in Parliament is demanding immediate removal of 3 taxes on petroleum products to mitigate impact of rising prices of crude oil on the international market. A minority member of the Mines and Energy Committee, Edward Barr, argues that prices may hit 9 cedis a litre should government fail to take immediate steps to remove taxes such as the energy sector levy, sanitation and pollution levy, as well as the special petroleum levy. The Bongo MP also tasked the Bank of Ghana to take immediate steps to arrest the depreciation of the cedi, which he argues is compounding the problem.
You and I know that obviously Ukraine would have definitely had an effect on this. Yeah. But before Ukraine's invasion, there was an increase in petroleum products going up because, one, the issue about, the issue about winter, where in the winter period, then the demand for hydrocarbons in Europe and America were very high. So we're already in the ascending form. So that cannot be the case. Ukraine may have aggravated the situation. You understand the point? Ukraine may have aggravated it. But I'm just saying that in that particular state, it is a blessing in disguise. So whilst we complain about the prices in the local level, we are also always smiling to the bank because of the monies we get from selling of the product. And so it's a win-win, in my opinion. It's a win-win situation. And I think, look, and let's be very honest with ourselves. If government does not do anything between now and the next window, which is on the 16th of March, today is 10th. The next window is 16th of March. 6 days away, there's going to be an increase in fuel prices. There is going to be an increase because you have it that normally the window is between 1st to 15th and 16th to 31st. And so they announce at the beginning of the month, which is always the 1st, and they do at the middle of the month, which is always on the 16th. So if government does not immediately step in now to do, look, I'm telling you that by the close of the month, we will hit 9 cedis per litre. So government will have to intervene. Because on the 16th, new prices will be announced.
What would have been the implications if we hit 9?
If we hit 9, it means that, look, I'm telling you, gradually people will, everything will go to a halt. Because one, remember that the people who deal in the petroleum sector, particularly in the downstream sector, are private people. What government could have been looking at as an option, you remember that when the deregulation came and at one point the prices of crude also started going up, there was a reason why President Mahama appointed one person to be the head of BOST and the head of TOR. There was a reason for it. The reason was because TOR itself did not have the money to be able to buy crude. And BOST has a mandate to store petroleum products in strategic stores. So what BOST did was that, look, we will, instead of buying the refined products, we won't buy refined products, we'll go and buy crude and give it to TOR. And TOR will refine and give it to us. And we will give it to GOIL, which is also, government owns about, because BOST, you remember that BOST owns about 20% of GOIL. Yeah. And government itself, so if you take BOST and then government, it's a central bank, it's about 51%. So they will then take the products and give it to GOIL, and GOIL will sell at a reduced price. And that was why GOIL then decided to open a lot of branches everywhere, said that people can still go and get fuel at GOIL at a lower price. So obviously he ran into trouble. I'm talking of what I could run into trouble with BDCs, because what it then meant was that it was making BDCs not to be profitable, and this was the arrangement that was done because government was using state institutions to beat down the price. This government has just simply decided that they can't be bothered.
Well, it's not just oil prices going up. As the country grapples with rising food prices as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has disclosed that government has injected about $105 million in the revival of 3 irrigation schemes in Tono, Ver, and Pong. According to the minister, Dr. Owusu Ifeakoto, the country could save millions if equipment and facilities were treated with much care. Speaking at the inauguration of the new board of the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, Dr. Koto charged the board to be responsible and generate revenue for the country. Irrigation is important because it accounts for about 40% of global food production and remains the corner block of agriculture in Ghana. Irrigation started in Ghana in the early 1960s. However, irrigation schemes have been mismanaged over the years. The Agric Minister, upon inaugurating the new board for the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, charged the board to be contributors of the economy.
I don't think that if you stepped out of this ministry onto the street and you ask anybody what is Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, they will be able to identify what it is. And I think that if you look at the access, I mean, I've been around all the sites. You look at the amount of assets that have just been vacated and left in the bush to rot, including buildings, machinery, and all kinds of things. That if you put the value on all these abandoned assets, you'll come to the conclusion that this $105 million that we spent in the last few years doing the rehabilitation pales into insignificance. There are huge assets that have been mismanaged, that have been abandoned. If we were to bring all these assets back to life, Ghana Irrigation Development Authority will be one of the richest state organizations. But it is not. It's still receiving subventions from government. And you should, Ghana Irrigation Development Authority should be generating money for us in this ministry to pay ourselves and not go to the exchequer to be paid every month.
Chairman of the governing board of the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, Oseo Usuajuman, pledged to harness the abilities of members to ensure the growth of the authority.
Honourable Minister, we are committed to harnessing our joint experiences and skills to establish a framework of governance that will transform JIDA and mainstream its activities into the socio-economic transformation of Ghana. We have accepted your message of exhortation and pledge to work with the management and staff of JIDA to address the issue of sustainability, scheme management, asset management, attracting commercial farmers, as well as the use of technology in JIDA's operations.
The 11-member board of the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority has Engineer Wilson Dakwa as chief executive. And tonight, we will be having a conversation on the soaring food prices and what can be done on Joy Business Social. There you go. We'll have Edward Kariwe, who is General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Anthony Morrison, CEO of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, and Francis Danso, Content Manager at Isoko. That will be at 6 p.m. across our social media platforms. Don't miss it. Still with matters relating to Agric, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has to spend 17 million cedis to compensate poultry farmers affected by bird flu beginning this week. The payment will range from 10 cedis per chick to 80 cedis per bag of feed. However, only farmers who have their certificates of distraction approved by the Veterinary Services Directorate qualify for the payment. Here's Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Osefria Koto, speaking at a press engagement.
Poultry farmers whose birds were affected by the avian influenza should expect disbursement of compensation for their culled birds and destroyed feed and eggs. According to the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Ozu Efri-Akoto, 17 million cedis out of 20 million cedis has been allocated for compensation.
To ensure all affected farmers from July to December 31st, 2021 receive some compensation for any losses incurred as a result of the outbreak, the ministry has agreed to pay 30 cedis for a matured bird, 20 cedis for a pullet, 10 cedis per chick, 80 cedis for a bag of feed, and 10 cedis for a crate of eggs, based on the amount available immediately. Affected poultry farmers between July and December 2021 should collect their certificates of destruction from the Veterinary Services Directorate and submit to the Finance and Administration Unit of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture for commencement of payments.
Director for Veterinary Services Directorate, Dr. Patrick Abake, sounded a warning to importers of chicks. He threatened to close down farms without right certification.
Any farmer who brings in day-old chicks to any part of this country without certification from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, for that matter, the VSD, and that of APD, when you send birds there and you have problems, and we come there, we are going to destroy the birds without any compensation. And in the future, we even have we'll have we will close down farms where they are not supposed to be. We have that legislation coming on.
Executive Secretary for the Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers, Lawrence Amati Tete, lauded the ministry for digitizing the poultry sector and compensating farmers despite challenges.
In the expectation of the poultry industry realizing its objectives, if we fail to resource the veterinary service to be in a position to regulate the activities of the poultry farmers, if you are able to improve upon urbanization, regulate imports and all that, we could be affected by bird flu. So I commend the minister for such a wonderful effort in compensating victims of the bird flu, and also, the biometric registration of the farmers to regulate the activity.
Now, the Ghana Statistical Service has begun moves to measure the intensity of illicit financial flows into the country and the drivers between the year 2000 and 2020. The move will not only help improve revenue mobilization, but also provide the necessary data for measuring and tracking sustainable development goals. There is more in the following report.
According to the 2022 Economic Development in Africa report, Africa loses about $88.6 billion annually in illicit financial flows. In Ghana, estimates show that illicit financial flows through trade, misinvoicing, inflows and outflows, amongst others, amounts to $10.98 billion. Dr. Faustina Frimpong Angwa is the Deputy Government Statistician and has been speaking at a workshop on Ghana Statistical Service UN Conference on Trade and Development, United Nations Economic for Africa workshop on measurements on illicit financial inflows.
This agenda can only be possible when illicit financial flows and other means that drain resources from our economy are blocked and the funds rightly channeled for productive use. Dwelling on what my senior colleague has mentioned, there are so many things that go on within the country that draw away or drain our resources. Illicit financial flows involve any form of an illegal capital flight that occurs when money is illegally earned, transferred, and or spent. It also includes efforts to prevent the funds from Ghana's tax authorities.
Technical advisor to the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dominic Nab, said illicit financial flows continue to become a ban on the country, and therefore there is the need to fight it to the core. He cited examples in the petroleum and mining sectors of the economy.
Ghana as a country, our clarion call for Ghana beyond 8 will be an illusion unless we are able to block these loopholes and channel the funds into productive use. She also mentioned that obviously our investment efforts would see a big reduction unless maybe we are able to reverse the current trend in the illicit financial flows.
Mr. Nab later told the media that it's unfortunate multinational companies are taking advantage of illicit financial inflows to shortchange the country.
We also have what we call our sectors, especially the petroleum and then the mining sectors. These are areas that we are supposed to actually raise so much If you look at the fact that Ghana as a country, over the years that we have been doing mining operations, we don't have so much to show even for it. That means that the multinationals are actually taking us for granted, taking away our resources, and these resources are not actually renewable. So if we don't actually get our acts together, we are going to lose so much.
Illicit financial flows involves the movement of money that is illegally acquired, transferred or spent across the borders of the country. The main activities of illicit financial flows are fiscal smuggling of money or assets, import and export trade misinvoicing, profit shifting, and transfer to wealth to evade taxes.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has announced that it has not granted approval for the use of a cryptocurrency named Freedom Coin in the banking and payment sector. This was contained in a statement issued on Wednesday and signed by its secretary, Sandra Thompson. I want to read the statement to you. It says it has come to the attention of the Bank of Ghana that there is an impending launch of a cryptocurrency named Freedom Coin. The public is hereby cautioned that neither this cryptocurrency nor the promoting company has approval from the Bank of Ghana to operate in the banking and payment sector. In line with the notice issued on 22nd January 2018, which can be found on the bank's website, Bank of Ghana wishes to reiterate that cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin are not regulated under any laws in Ghana and are therefore not backed by any guarantee or safeguards. Bank of Ghana advises the general public to exercise caution in respect of cryptocurrency transactions. The bank further directs all licensed institutions, including banks, specialized deposit-taking institutions, dedicated electronic money issuers, and payment service providers to refrain from facilitating cryptocurrency transactions via their platforms or agents. And so that's the warning from the central bank to the public. You're watching Business Live. Still to come, we'll be in Tamale, where the Customs Division has exceeded import revenue target by several-fold.
The Tamale Collection was able to exceed its import revenue target by a very huge margin of over 500%.
Welcome back, everyone. The Collection Office of the Tamale Customs Division has, for the first time in history, increased its import revenue from 1.50 million in 2020 to 35 million cedis at the end of 2021. Even though the service had earmarked 5.2 million cedis as import revenue target, it exceeded the mark several-fold. Here's more.
Speaking at an awards night to honor the men and the women of the service for their commitment and dedication to work, the sector commander, Tamale Collection, AC Oreni Bediako, said petroleum target was 123.95 million, but they were able to rake in 319.01 million, a percentage increase of 157%. He mentioned some strategies, including voluntary compliance, as measures used to achieve this success.
I state that the Tamale Collection has been performing quite well in its revenue collection effort. It's worthy to note that with all the challenges and difficulties amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, with its attendant impact on the world economic order, the Tamale Collection was able to exceed its import revenue target by a very huge margin of over 500%. The Tamale Collection has, for the first time in history, increased our total import revenue from 1.5 million cedis in 2020, and by the end of 2021, we raised it with a total import revenue of 35 million cedis, as against the 5.2 million import revenue target given to the Tamale Collection.
AC Orene Bediako said, even though the sector made a huge success in their target achievement, it is one of the terrain with several challenges.
It must also be noted that the Tamale Collection has one of the most difficult tax-compliant public arduous terrain, porous and unapproved roofs, totaling 40 within the jurisdiction. Upon all these challenges notwithstanding, the combined effort of my affable management team and my own self, we were able to set this enviable record. It's happy to note that an officer from the Tamale Collection got the Best Worker Award nationwide.
William Kodo was adjudged the overall best performing officer.
Well, finally for us this afternoon, advertising firm Innova DDB says its Ruger Valley project is to give back to society. According to its managing director, Dr. Ken Hawan-Ai, the project will seek to bring beauty to a much-known community whilst presenting opportunity to artists to express themselves. Here's more.
According to Innova DDB Ghana, the project goes beyond the company's corporate social responsibility, explaining that it has other plans and projects to support the community it has operated in for years. Here is the managing director for Innova DDB Ghana, Kenneth Hammond-Ayi.
This is our contribution to a community that we have been part of for almost 10 years and over. And we started in a small shop here, and we have grown to like 3, 4, 5 big businesses here. So we decided that, look, it's just time for us to give something back to the community. This is a bigger vision than just a CSR. Do you understand? It is something that we want to institute like an art festival and things. That is a long-term vision. So you might call it CSR, but really it's bigger than that. And it is going to form a fabric of the community, and it's going to go global as well. So that's why we're here.
Innova DDB Ghana is a creative advertising agency focused in building a world-class brand and supporting various communities.
All right, and that's the marketplace for this afternoon. Thanks for watching. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching.